Our learning goal today as we move on now after our quiz, we're into lesson 5, is I can divide fractions and simplify the answer. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do dividing with a number line. Now the number line is handy when we're especially dividing fractions that are fair shares. What does fair shares mean again? They're not equal. They have the same denominator. That's what fair shares means. Fractions that have the same denominator. They're both cut into the same amount of parts. They have equal parts. So when we talk about using the number line, it's really handy when we have fractions that have fair shares, okay? So 3/4 divided by 1/4, right here. Would you circle this, please? 3/4 divided by 1/4. That really means how many times can you take 1/4, the number you're dividing by, how many times can you take that 1/4 out of 3/4? Or in other words, how many 1/4 are there in 3/4? How many are there, Sylvia? 3. So let's look at the number line and see that, yeah, we have a number line here that is labeled for us. Starts at 0, and every increment of space represents a 4th. So there is 1, there's 2, there's 3 times that we can take 1/4 out of there. So there's 3 groups of 1/4. So what would 3/4 divided by 1/4 be then? What's 3/4 divided by 1/4 then? Class, what's 3/4 divided by 1/4 then? What's 3/4 divided by 1/4? What is it, Wade? He's the only one who remembers his hand, so I can just tap him. Is that a hand up or not? 12/4? What? Okay, 12/4, which is what then? Yeah, 3. Is that what you were going to say is 3? That's what we just did, didn't we? We said there are 3 of those 1/4 in 3/4. So we can see that you can take 1, 2, 3 out of 3/4, because from 0 to 3/4 represents 3/4, and we can take 3 equal shares of 1/4 out. Wait.
I just wanted to explain it since that person said what, you have to invert that fraction.
Okay, but here's the deal. Here's the deal. We're not using inverting right now. We're using the number line. So I think that's why they were saying what.
That's what I did in my head.
Okay. So now what we're going to do is we are going to use inverting and multiplying like you want to do, because if you don't want to use the number line, if you don't want to use a visual, if they aren't fair shares, then the number line, it can either be a whole lot of work. And so how can we take a shortcut? How can we use an algorithm, it's called, a rule in math? And Wade wants to use the rule. The rule says you're going to invert and multiply. Well, what gets inverted? Harley?
1/4.
The 1/4 gets inverted. What you're dividing by gets inverted. So that's what's the inverting. The division becomes multiplication. And the 3/4, what you're dividing into, stays what it is. And then we can say that 3/4 times 4/1, well, we have 2 different ways that we know how to multiply fractions, right? What's the first way that we do it? Sierra?
Multiply it right across.
You just multiply right across. Okay, so 3 times 4 class is? 12. 4 times 1 is? 4, and I bet that's where Wade got 12/4, didn't he? Yeah. And then we have to not divide, but simplify, and in the process of simplifying, we're going to divide, aren't we? So 12/4, what are we going to divide out of both of them?
4 goes into 12.
How many times?
1 times.
3. How many times does it go into itself?
1.
Once. Yeah, so it becomes 3. Or you could just do 12 divided by 4, couldn't you? Because you can take 4 out of 12 3 nice times. It comes out of there nicely with nothing left over. Okay? So when we invert and multiply, we got the same answer. That's the first way when we did the multiplying, right? What's the second way? Anybody remember the second way? Or like the second way, and that's what you use? What's our second way of multiplying, Danny?
You divide before you
You divide before you multiply. So, what can we do here? So this is an or, second way. What can we do? Divide what? You gotta divide something out of upstairs. It can also be divided out of downstairs. Cheyenne? The fours. We can divide both of those by what? 4. Yeah, they're both divisible by 4, aren't they? Yeah, they're both divisible by 4, and then that becomes 1, and that becomes a 1, and now we can say, oh, 3 times 1 is 3, and 1 times 1 is 1, and 3 over 1 is 3. So no matter which way we do it, we get 3, which also supports using the number line and seeing that, yes, you can take 3 of those 1/4 out of 3/4. Can somebody give me an example in life of something where you were trying to be dividing a 3/4 into fourths? Can anybody give me an example in real life of a 3/4 being divided into fourths? You think you got something, Sylvia?
when you cut a board.
When you cut a,
A
you say a board? Okay. So when you cut a board,
into fourths.
into fourths, okay. When you cut a whole board into fourths, how many fourths would you get? 4 altogether, right? If you cut a board into fourths, you get 4 altogether, but we only want how many of those? 3 of them. So we toss one aside and say, okay, I got 3 1/4 sections of my board, and I need to see how many 1/4 there are in that. How many would there be? 1, 2, 3, right? Okay. Yeah, good example. Can somebody come up with another one? Danny. A Snickers bar. Oh, what are you going to do with a Snickers bar? Share it with me? Okay, talk to me about that, the Snickers bar. Divide a Snickers bar into 3 parts. Okay, well if she divides the Snickers bar into 4 parts, good catch there. If she divides the Snickers bar into 4 parts, 4 equal parts we're talking about, right? Then each of those would represent 1/4. Okay, what are you going to do now? You're just going to give one away. Oh, that's the one I'm going to get? Okay, good deal. She just gave me one, and now she's got 3 parts left. And now the question is, how many 1/4 of a candy bar are left? 1, 2, 3. 3/4 of a candy bar. How many fourths are there? There are 3 of them. So you know, I love that we know how to invert and multiply. But it's really, really important that we're not going to do well with fractions until we start understanding what they really mean. That's when fractions are not going to be your enemy anymore. They're going to become your friend. When you can understand what that means, okay? Anybody come up with one more example for me? How about a money example? Can anybody come up with a money example? Carly, you think you can? What? Anybody know what 3/4 of a dollar is? How much is 3/4 of a dollar? Harley? 75 cents. Oh, what is there 3 of in 75 cents? There's 3/4 in 75 cents. And what's a quarter when you start talking about a part of a dollar? 25 cents, and 25 cents is what part of a dollar? 1/4. Isn't that amazing? 3/4 of a dollar is 3/4. There are 3/4 in 3/4 of a dollar. So, you know, again, when we can start tying it to some examples, then we might have a better understanding. Okay, let's go back and do another one. 5 divided by 1/3. Okay. Well, this time we're not going to do the number line because do we have fair shares at the moment? No, we don't have any fair shares at the moment. So let's do the invert and multiply way. But before we do that, let's rewrite 5 as a fraction. That's all we want to do in this step. So what do you want me to do? Wait.
Put it over 1.
Put it over 1. So that's all I want you to do right now, put 5 over 1. Rewrite the problem so that we have a fraction divided by a fraction instead of a whole number divided by a fraction. And now we will invert and multiply. Which one gets inverted? The 1/3, the one you're dividing by. So the one that you are not, the one you're dividing into, that doesn't get inverted, whoopsie, and it doesn't stay as division anymore. We're going to change it to multiplication. We're going to invert 1/3. We're going to make it into 3 over 1. Okay, which method do you think we have to use this time for multiplying? Can we simplify this one first, do you think? Is there anything that you could divide out of a numerator up there that you could also take out of the denominator that would change anything up? No. So this time we are just going to multiply right away, aren't we? So we're going to say 5 times 3 is 15. 15 over 1 is 15. So we're going to say that 5 divided by 1/3 equals 15. There's our final answer. Well, what do you think? Do you think we have a good answer? Can you convince me what? If you put the 1 under 15. How about let's use the number line to check this out? Because look at who so nicely did a whole bunch of work to at least start it out for you. Start at 0, goes up to 5. We are going to divide into 5, aren't we? And we're dividing by thirds. So does each of these represent a third? Yeah, 0, 1/3, 2/3. What would be the next third? 3/3. And isn't 3/3 1? Okay, so I've divided this up already. I think you better count how many sections there are then. How many little increments of 1/3 are there? How many are there altogether then? Yeah. How many did you get, Hannah? How many did you get, Sylvia? How many did you get, Harley? How many did you get, Danny? How many did you get, Wade? How many did you get, Tyler? How many did you get, Kaylee? How many did you get, Peyton? How many did you get, Derek? How many did you get, Cheyenne? How many did you get, Keelia? How many did you get, Sierra? How many did you get, Sam? How many did you get, Ikea? Anybody else? Harley? Did anybody else? No. Oh, just the ladies and that. I meant to do that. Okay, so 15 can be taken out of here. 15 what? 15 of what can be taken out of 5? 1/3. 15 1/3 can be taken out of 5. So would doing it on the number line agree? Yes. There are 15 1/3 in 5. That's what we're going to say. There are 15 1/3 in 5. That's what we just counted up on the number line. Put that on your papers. Yes, the number line agrees with us. So even though we didn't have fair shares, this time we were able to still use the number line to verify it. Okay? Our time just goes way too fast again. We are done with that. Now, we were going to do the applied skills in the book, and we didn't get to that, so we'll deal with that next week. But you do still have homework.